I'm Grace and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today's video is kind of like a different kind of video. I don't think I've ever seen this video done before on YouTube. So it's going to be like a homecoming float, like tips and advice, because I am one of the student council reps for my grade, and we just went through homecoming and it was crazy, and we did a homecoming float and we ended up winning. So I thought it'd be a good idea for me to do just like my advice and what I think is a good idea for if you are in charge of the homecoming float. Make sure you guys feel a thumbs up and comment down below if you have had football homecoming yet, and if so, what was your theme? And make sure to subscribe if you have not already, and let's go into the video. Okay, tip number 1 is to have a meeting with your class if you go to a small school like I do, or to have a meeting for the people who want to help. Number 2 is during that meeting to get all the contact information you can. You can either get like everyone's phone number or everyone's email if you want to do email, or you can set up like a Google Classroom, a Remind, all that different stuff. You can just get some type of contact information for everyone who wants to help, so you have a way to like contact them after that meeting. Tip number 3 is before the meeting, ask around for like suggestions of like how the float should look, because you don't want to during the meeting, especially if you have a limited amount of time, to like be like asking for suggestions. Then get it before the meeting, and then during the meeting vote on which float you like best, because if you do it during the meeting, it's gonna like you're not gonna be able to choose a theme at all. Tip number 4 is to set up like an earlier work day, like a day that you know not many people are going to be able to be at, so you can kind of just get it like ready, like get all your supplies and make sure you have everything, and just do like the basics, because sometimes like the first things on a float you don't want to do when a lot of people are there. So set up like a earlier work day where you can get a lot of things done, and then have a second work day when a lot of people can come. Number 5 is when you have that work day, make sure you have a job for every single person, because if not, people are going to stop working, and once somebody's friend stops working, then they stop working to talk to them. Make sure everyone has a job, or no one's going to be doing anything. Like, that's probably like my biggest tip, is to make sure during the work things that everyone has a job. And like I remember like before our work day, I had like a list of everything that needed to be done. So when somebody came in, the first thing I told them was like, I would say hi, and then I'd be like, okay, this is what you need to do. Because if you don't give them a job, they're not going to work. Number 6 is to make a list of who has turned in money for like the float, so you don't get like, at my school, everyone is supposed to bring in $10 for our float. So I just made a list of whoever brought in the float money. And also to have like, if you can, like the announcements for them to announce for everyone to bring in $10 and to bring it to a certain teacher, so you can collect it from that teacher. Number 7 is to tell people before time that those who work the hardest will be helping with the float. Like, will be like with the float during the parade. Because if you tell this ahead of time, first of all, you're going to get a lot of workers during like your work days, and also people will be working harder because they want to be in the parade, because everyone wants to be in the parade for the float. Like, that's what a lot of people want to do. So if you tell them that whoever works the hardest will be with it, a lot of people will work harder and like will give their like better because they want to be in the parade. Number 8 would be during your work days, look for the hardest workers. Start making your list during the work days, not after, because after you might not remember things. But during, just look around and see, oh, who's working the hardest, and start making your list like who worked the hardest to like who didn't work the hardest. And then figure out how many people can walk with the float, and just cut off the list there. Like, okay, cut off the 8. So everyone else that didn't work hard enough, sorry, but you didn't make it. And then everyone else, you get to walk in the parade. Okay, number 9 is to make sure you have all information about where the float's supposed to be before that day. So make sure you know exactly where the float's supposed to be at a certain time, if we're supposed to go out before time, and like all that stuff about like everything, like about when you need to be out there, all this, like before the parade, like when is it going to be in the parade, like how long are we going to be out there for the parade, all that crazy stuff. Make sure you know that before the day of the parade. And also, if you're doing candy, make sure if there's a certain type of candy, how many people can throw candy. and like all that kind of stuff. And then number 10, this is probably the most I would say advice would be, choose the people, the people that are going to be with the float during the parade. Choose them very, very, very wisely, because you don't want to choose people who are going to be throwing candy to their friends, or their friends will be throwing candy back at them and it's going to accidentally hit you. So choose your friends choose the people walking the float very wisely. Don't choose people just because they come up to you, be like, please let me on the float. Don't choose them just because of that. Choose the people who work the hardest and who are not going to joke around. They're going to take it seriously walking the parade, and they're not going to get you in trouble or make your grade get in trouble. Choose the people very, very wisely. Okay, so that was my 10 tips for if you're in charge of the homecoming float. Now I'm going to show y'all my homecoming float, because I mentioned that we ended up winning. So freshman class ended up tying with the juniors, which I really think we won, but you know. Okay, so what it was is that our whole thing was kind of salad dressing, so it was dressing to succeed. So ours was Italian dressing. So what we did, I'm going to be putting photos over here, but it's going to be we had the football field down here, and we even had the markers, and then we had a goalpost in the front, and then the back, it said Mamma Mia, and then it said my school, kind of thing like that. And then on the back, we did chicken wire, which that's a really good thing to do for if you're doing a float. Always do chicken wire. Makes it look nice. It might even make you win because of it. We chicken wire the Italian flag, and then we say class of 2021, and it looks so good. It took a while to do. It took a lot of painting, a lot of things. It took a while, especially the chicken wire. It took a while of stuffing. So if you are going to do chicken wire, definitely start it way earlier. We ended up starting really late on this float, but next year we're going to start way earlier because we were pushed for tying. But yeah, that is what my the freshman class float looked like. I loved how it turned out. It looked so cool, and it was so fun to be in the parade. But yeah, that's what our float looked like. I hope y'all enjoy this video. I know it's very different, and you've probably never seen someone do this kind of video before. But this is just something that happened in my life, and I felt like I had a lot of tips and advice that I have learned from it. So I thought I needed to share it for some people who might be doing this float, doing their floats at their school. I just thought it might help y'all. Once again, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and comment down below if you already have had y'all's homecoming and what the theme was and all that kind of stuff. And make sure to subscribe if you have not already. And I'll see y'all in my next video. Have an amazing day. Bye.